right, Taki, can you hear me? Do you have a mic on him, Roger?
I got a mic.
Okay, good. So I wanted to ask a question about the Warhol comment in the film.
Hey, they're asking you a question.
I'm asking you a question. I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. They were talking about Warhol wanting to meet you, and that you didn't go ahead with that. Do you have any regrets on that, looking back? That sounds pretty crazy, the Warhol scene. The
Warhol thing?
Yeah. Do you still get asked about that?
Yeah, people still ask me about it, and I wish I had met the guy. I didn't know he was going to die. I had another chance.
All right, where's Rocky at? Hey, so you got this? Okay. So before Wall Riders, how long had it been since everybody in your crew had seen each other? How many years had passed for you?
For me, it was like 35 plus years.
Whoa.
So it was amazing to see everybody and get together again.
And since this has all happened, how many times have you seen them in the last couple of years?
Quite often.
Yeah, it changes, right? A little bit
Quite
different.
often.
Is Coco up here with us? There we go. Seems like you were the first to use a stencil. Can you tell us a little bit more about the decision, or how you came up with that in the first place, or how you gave that to everybody?
40-something years ago.
You don't remember?
Well, yeah, I do remember. I just wanted to do something different, something, that was fast. It was about, doing something unique. Damn, I'm just lost for words. I wanted to do something different. Yeah, something.
Can you still do them?
Stencils?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, cool. Who else? Klepto Kid up here? Do you have a story for us that we haven't seen yet? Off the top of your head? One of your crazy stories? We were supposed to ambush you with this question.
A quick one?
A quick one? A fast and crazy story?
Well, I tell this story a few times, and it was a story about I was in the military and heading down to North Carolina. And as you enter North Carolina, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to North Carolina, home of the KKK." So what I did, when I saw this, I pulled my car over, got out of the car, and put "Cool Klepto Kid." So North Carolina was home of Cool Klepto Kid.
LSD and Joker are up here with us? Right, okay, so we'll split this question. Okay. All right. So, is this the first time you've seen the movie?
Yes.
How can you talk to us a little bit about that experience?
I used to work in the film business and television, and I think it was well made. And I'm very proud of my fellow graffiti writers, and I wish it was longer. I mean, there's so many stories and so many people to talk about. You can never include everybody. And I'm so happy that everybody's here today. And, there's a lot of talent up here, a lot of history.
I think that's the first call we've gotten for a sequel. Well, it was two.
It's the first time I've seen the film as well, and I kind of wish it was a miniseries, because there are so many people that are not, really interviewed that should be, that are foundational to graffiti. You got these guys up here who are my idols, but there are a lot of other people out there, so we'll make a part two.
There's so many people we wanted to put in this movie, and there was honestly only so much time, so many finances, and we could only make the movie so long. Hopefully someone else will follow and do something else.
Did you just pass the buck?
Yeah, I just passed it. But we have Undertaker Ash right here too, who was really hard to find. So happy he's here. He'd never even seen the book till tonight. I want to know what this man thought. What'd you think?
Great.
And you want to say anything? No comment? All right.
He writes it out.
But this is Undertaker Ash. Yeah, original.
Right. So I'm gonna. This is tough with only a couple minutes left, but I'm gonna open up the hardest question that I think the film raises almost, which is Philly or New York first. doesn't matter who did it first?
You're in the wrong city.
Yeah, I know. These are leftover. No. You want to throw that too?
Change
You wanna go
who
ahead?
did it best, we got an answer for you.
I don't know who did it first, but I'll just say that we did it. We did it.
I think that we were going to all be here together, right, Roger?
Mr. Lewis, what do you think? You're Philly.
Straight Philly. Hey, you know what? It's more or less the whole feeling of Philadelphia and my comrades. We don't care who started it. You see what I'm saying? All we worry about is what we did, and we know we made our impact, and that's it. And we always give straight up props to New York.
I think CornBread does care who started it. I see by the grin on his face right now. I'm going to give you the mic, but you got to keep it short.
You promised.
No offense, but New York knows where it started at. Isn't that right? Any objections? Well, had it not been for Cornelius Hosey, I don't believe this culture never started. Cornelius Hosey was shot and killed. They called him Corn. And had I not attempt to make a point to prove, I don't think any of this would have happened.
Taki, you've constantly said something that I thought was so important, one of my favorite lines in the movie, that it doesn't matter who's first, it's what you see.
If it just caught your attention, it could have been anywhere. I think it started with Kilroy, because that's what we used to doodle when we were kids, and I think he got to get some props too.
I want to hear about Top Cat 126.
You want to hear about Top Cat 126? Chris Pape should answer that question, wherever he is. Maybe he'll slowly come up and he can answer it in a minute, because he's going to have to talk into the mic. And we'll see. I have a question for you. What happened to Stitch? I see you have a Stitch shirt on.
Stitch is alive in this building in spirit, but he was taken from us way too young, 2003. And for me, he was my first and everything, and I hold him to my heart dearly.
Chris, you going to come up here? Oh, there you are. Come here. Give me the short answer of who Top Cat is and what it is. I'm going to count. This is Freedom, who helped with the film.
For those of you that don't know, Top Cat 126 brought the Broadway style of writing to New York, which was also the Philly style. And Top Cat landed in the projects on 126th Street with his brother, who's a terrific guy and who's still alive and doing well. And about 70 or 71, they started going to Philadelphia. That's where they would spend their summer. And that's where they learned Broadway style, which eventually came to New York. And that's the legend of Top Cat. Sadly, he died at a very young age. So, you know, that's a shame. But his brother is still around, living in Chicago. And there's more about him in the book.
Oh, good throw to the book.
Thank you to Facebook. Chris found Top Cat's brother, and we've learned the real story of Top Cat. And then in the front of the book, in the introduction, there's a little quarter page. There's a great photo of Top Cat and this story. I want to ask Joker a question. You're one of the first guys with an actual icon to go with your name. How did you come up with that?
I do have an answer, unlike Coco. It's called creative pressure. There was no way that I was going to be in the street and hanging out like Ash and Coco and Taki and these cats, you know, sowing flowers. And, you know, so I just decided that if I could put my name someplace and people could recognize it and see that it was different, then I was satisfied. That was it. It didn't start out with the whole afro, because I've never had an afro in my life. It really started out and was an evolutionary process, a crown, you know, cone and then all that other kind of stuff, and it evolves, you know. But it was called creative pressure. You try to be recognized, so you come up with different things.
So Ash didn't want to really say much, but I still want to give it to him. Coco, Joker, you want to say anything about Ash?
Ash also played music, and he brought a lot of music into. He was playing music before the culture started, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I want to add that.
I've known Ash for over 45 years. Ash is probably one of the most famous underground DJs in New York City.
Yes.
Ash, rock and roll outlaws. Ash is as quiet as it's kept, and I don't know if you know this. There's another guy who was everywhere Ash had his name on a light pole. There was a guy named Nemeth that had his name on a light pole, and they were competing. You know, so Ash is legendary. You know, probably more from the music scene, working with one of the probably greatest DJs, Flowers and Dice, who was a DJ. You know, that is in New York City.
Cool cat.
Thank you.
I'm going to do the last two now. Lazar, 45 years later, how does this feel, all of you?
It's actually pretty amazing that all of this has come full circle. I don't think any of us would have ever expected when we first started that we would still be talking about this, thinking about this, and that someone would go to all the effort to track all of us down all over the world, you know, to make a movie back. So my hat's off to Roger.
Thank you.
It feels pretty damn good. Yeah.
You still have your ex-Vandals jacket.
I do.
Do you still fit in it?
Hey, Ray!
You look like you do.
Just as close. Okay, and we're wrapping up with Snake One and the question about what it was like being in a crew back then. At the beginning of the film, we saw a lot about that. Is there anything you want to add for that?
Well, one thing being in a crew was you got to meet other crews, and also we were mentioning before about who was first, but the most important thing that we all here standing together as one big family after so many years and keeping it alive. And special thanks to Roger, Gastman, for tremendous work, and everyone who was involved in this project.
Thank you. And Snake and Coco here, you know, they stuck in it with the art for a long time. They're still producing. They're still making great paintings. You know, a lot of these guys are. There's a lot of the guys, too, from the film that you saw. They're going to come up for the next Q&A. So, you know, again, too many to name, but I want to thank them all. I want to thank all the other Philly guys that came. I got a question for you. What did the elephant cage smell like?
What did the elephant cage smell like? I wasn't in the cage, I was on the outside. I was in the pit. It smelled like elephant.
Good. Smelled like elephant.
All right, I think we're about.
So I want to say one really sad thing. Hectad wrote in the bathroom. That was a real dick move. Please don't write in the bathroom. Yeah, you know, we paid to rent the place. We paid to do this. We paid to make the movie. Like, it sucks when people do that. Don't do it.
Go check out the.
Go do it outside. There's the books out there. Grab a book. Tell your friends. iTunes Monday. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.